I took it. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me that nigga, I'm being the clouds. Pool full of Henny, I drink and I drown.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is Sam from Harkey Fishing, and got a little different video fishing report for you this week. We are down in northeast Texas at Brandon's Bass Shop, and been down here with my mom. She had a hip replacement. She's doing great, and anyhow, found this bass shop last year, and man, it's got some great stuff in it. But anyhow, into the fishing report for Table Rock Lake, Shell Knob area, and White River fishing report. Water temperature has been running about 86 in the morning, gets up to 89, even 90 degrees sometimes in the afternoons when that sun's been beating down on it. It is hot. It's the hottest stretch we've had in the last few weeks. Lake level sitting at 916.55, so just about right for their summer pool, 917 standard summer pool. And they are not generating hardly at all, except in the evenings or during the peak electrical usage. They usually start up about noon to 1 or 2 o'clock, and they'll generate for several hours till it cools off in the afternoon, just for power needs for the Branson area. And so very little current. Man, the thermocline's setting up nice. And this last Wednesday night, after that last fishing report, we talked about how we'd found some fish on the ledges and stuff on the bluff ends. And so I took Dr. Sarah out. As you probably saw in the thumbnail of that last fishing report, we caught some really, really nice fish. That's nice. That's really nice. Little Jake break just to help out with the video. But anyhow, we caught some really nice fish. Dr. Sarah caught a 4.6 and a 4.4 and a 3.2, and that really anchored our limit. We ended up having 16.8 pounds, and we did win that tournament. Big drop off to second place was about 12 and 3/4 pounds, and really 12 and 3/4 has been pretty well the average, the average good size limit that's been placing in that. So 12.8 got second in that, and then bottom money was in the about 11 pound range. This is Thursday, and so last night it took 14.5 pounds to win. We didn't get to fish it just because we're down here in Texas. Took 14.5 pounds to win, and then it dropped to 12.5 pounds for second. So really that's been a pretty consistent deal. A little bit about what the fish are doing and what they're biting on. Those fish that we caught last week came out of brush piles. We started on the bluffs. We were catching a lot of fish, but we couldn't get anything over about 15.5 inches. In fact, we had 4 fish in the live well off of those bluffs when I said, let's go try a couple brush piles, and found some conservation brush piles and some individual brush piles. All those brush piles in about 15, most of them were really about 20 feet deep, but as shallow as 15 we caught fish out of, and as deep as 30. In fact, we found one that was about 27 feet, and we caught 3 or 4 more keepers out of that. I mean, we really caught a lot of fish that night. But the ones that the big fish came out of, one was in 18, one was in 21. So that 20-foot range seems to be kind of the popular range. So there are definitely fish hidden in the brush piles. Now, those fish came off of a little crawl. We were throwing those on a little Texas rig crawl, and they hit pretty good. I was throwing a Chomper's jig, a 5/8 ounce brush jig in Green Pumpkin Purple Flash, and Sarah was fishing the one she caught them off a Texas rig, 1/4 ounce weight on a little Strike King bug, and so man, the fish, she sure was catching them right there, right and left beside me. And we've been throwing that big worm a lot. I threw it, and I had a 2.8 on it to go with our limit. So those fish will bite the traditional baits in those brush piles. And I will say, usually I have live scope, and I use it a lot, mainly to find the brush piles. But this was really eye-popping. These brush piles, when we put the live scope on them, they lit up with big fish. And normally we see a lot of small Kentuckies suspended over the top. As soon as we dropped the live scope in and looked at that brush pile, I knew we were going to catch a good one. I just didn't know how good they were, and boy, they showed up good on the live scope. And so it was one of those things that was awesome. And we caught those on Wednesday. We fished again Friday night and went to the same exact brush piles, and we had 9.5 pounds limit of 9.5 pounds. So that just goes to show you, fish change every day. You cannot go and do the same thing. Every day is a challenge, and I think that's what I love so much about bass fishing. Every day you got a new challenge. I mean, you got to go out there every day and figure out what are the fish doing today, what do they want. So, you know, those brush piles last Wednesday, obviously last Friday they didn't like those same brush piles, and I don't think anything really drastically changed. None of the weather changed. I really expected them to still be there, but they had moved a little bit, and we weren't able to adjust to find the good ones. And so anyhow, that's kind of your fishing report. You know, be sure and check out those brush piles. As far as how deep to fish, remember that thermocline. Go turn your sensitivity up on your down imaging or your sonar. Figure out where that thermocline is and fish above it. And so that's your Table Rock fishing report for Thursday, July the 29th, I believe it is today, of 21. So you guys have a great day, and keep your lines wet. Hey YouTubers, what is up? It is Sam from Harkey Fishing, and we got a little different deal for you today. We're at a bass fishing shop, Brandon's Bass Shop, down here located just outside of Hugo, Oklahoma, between Hugo, Oklahoma and Paris, Texas. Man, if you are in the southeast Oklahoma, north east Texas area, this is a great bass shop. I want to show you real quick a little bit of what they got here, because I mean, they have got the stuff. Check this out. All right, so you need Strike King baits. My gosh, they've got Strike King baits everywhere. They've got Strike King crankbaits in just about every color you can imagine. Swim baits, they got a great new line of swim baits down here that called Smash Tech baits. Really unique. I picked up a couple of these in this gizzard shad color, because man, Table Rock is loaded with gizzard shad. We've got a variety of different things. You can bow fish, man, they've got bow fishing stuff, whopper ploppers in about every color, and man, this thing goes on forever. As you can see, it's a great selection of stuff. We got your jackhammers in every color that you can imagine. Great store. So if you're ever in this area, stop by Brandon's Bass Shop. Great place.